Hey partner, stick 'em up. I said stick 'em up. I ain't playing, man. I'm armed to the teeth. Not afraid to use this thing. I said stick 'em up. Tried. Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to Ratchet Clank Going Commando. Previously, we completed everything that there is to do on planet Uzla, and even got all the platinum bolts to boot, which is a nice little bonus. We even got the tractor beam and the dynamo, our first two gadgets of the game. Today, we'll be starting our time in the Maktar Resort at the Maktar Nebula. Again, I think they're going a little too heavy on the branding there, but it is what it is. I'll bump it away.
Yes, may I help you? I said.
Sorry to say this, Clank, but I'm afraid your vacation's over. Ratchet's not gonna be in a happy mood when he finds out about that, but he's got to worry about that later. Our ship's under attack. We're now in a ship battle, a brand new feature. Well, not really. In a way it is. To Going Commando. You can fire guns with X, secondary weapons with circle, activate turbo with P square, L1 or L1 barrel rolls, and L2 or R2 raise our ship. Like that is actually gonna matter. Unless you're getting a little disoriented, then I suppose it will work out that way. So I said that this was kind of a new feature for Going Commando. I want to rephrase that. It's more prominent in the sequel. We did get to do this mechanic a handful of times back at Ratchet 1, but it was only for select sections or segments. And in Captain Quark's case, it was a boss fight. But this time around, ship battles are gonna be kind of a side activity in this sequel. We won't be able to get to it for a while because, believe it or not, this is the tutorial segment for this particular side, I was gonna say side quest, a side activity mini game, I guess. But they called mini games mega games in development at first, actually. It will be the only mini game we'll be coming across in this, well, game overall. It's just a side thing that you can do, but like I said, we won't be seeing it for a while. So, cherish and relish the Wupash Nebula while you can, because we're not going to be able to come back here after we complete this dogfight. And as we saw, once we take out the first wave, these enemy ships will band together and produce a second wave. Believe it or not, these guys are actually working for Thugs for Less, the mercenary for hire group that we saw interact with the thief, I believe back at the first episode of the series. So don't forget about them. They're gonna be kind of a thorn in our sides for our time in the Bogot Galaxy. As we see, there are two kinds of ships that we can take on. If you wait long enough and lock onto an enemy, you can fire off a homing missile. There were two types of ships. There were those gliding wing ones that could fly sideways. They're a little tougher to take out, but with a well-placed missile, they can be destroyed very easily. And those faster gliding ships, they can be taken out one shot. I did take a lot of damage from that. I wasn't meaning to. Guess I'm getting worse with those spaceship battles from the years. I used to be a lot better at that, I swear. But it wasn't that hard to handle. Anyways, welcome to the Maktar Resort. As a matter of fact, hang on. I wonder if I can do this. Select it again. There's a reason why I want to do this. Oh, it doesn't. Damn it. When you enter a new planet or re-enter a planet, then you'll get this cool wide shot of the area. I didn't get to do that because I started walking too quickly, but I want to get another clear shot of the whole landscape just because I want to. In order to do this though, I gotta head back to Uzla. We have no reason to go back here at all. I'm just doing this just for the sake of getting a really cool shot and a really cool opening shot of the level. Also, I am in need of finding thumbnails for my episodes, so I might be using this shot as a potential candidate for when I do make my thumbnail for this episode. I'm thinking in multiple steps ahead here, folks. Don't mind me. Never mind. I really thought that would work. Okay, I guess it's just your first time. I didn't know that. I thought they'll give you a cool shot. Well, I wasted that opportunity. Great. Hopefully I can find a still of that when I go back to edit this. Well, anyways, we're gonna have to move ahead and continue through the Maktar Resort, lack of thumbnails withstanding. Or notwithstanding. We're gonna head to the right first. This is the optional path again. Because that big dome there in the center, that's gonna be our main objective. That's where we have to go to progress the storyline. But we're not doing that. We're explorers. We are completionists. Or at least I try to be a completionist. It all depends on the game, really. So we're gonna explore everywhere and anywhere to our heart's content. Also, fun fact about that dome. In the PS2 version, the top of that could actually spin around. It's slow, but you can notice it from a distance. For whatever reason, in the PS3 version, it doesn't occur here. It's a detail that I honestly forgot about because I haven't played the PS2 version of this game in years. I've had the HD collection, I think, since its release year, which was back in 2012, if I'm correct. So I've had this thing for a pretty long time, and I've gotten used to it. Here's another puzzle we can use for our tractor beam. We'll just capture this inspector bot and make him go all the way to that door opening point. Kind of making his day a little eventful, but not in a good way. Also, I should use the chopper because since we upgraded our Lancer, it cannot upgrade anymore. Weapons in this game can only be upgraded once. So once you do max out a weapon's upgrade meter, be sure to switch off to other weapons and do your best to utilize them too. Trust me, you can only get so far by just upgrading only a handful of weapons. That's gonna get you into trouble eventually. Trust me, speaking from experience. Kid me was fairly skilled at video games, but he wasn't really smart, like I said before. I'm not saying that to back myself, I really was a dumb kid. So if you thought we made this guy's day a little eventful, well, he's about to get a highlight that he'll never forget, not in his life. What we can do here is lure to that slingshot, pull back, and launch his butt all the way up that door. Yeah, he seems to take it in stride. I mean, look at him go. This is a guy who clearly either loves his job or is really dedicated to it. The way he just bounces around while he moves about, I guess it takes a lot to ruin his day. Let's jump up here, and we can see there's some slot machines here too. Maktar kinda has... Whoop, what blew that one up? Maktar kinda has a Las Vegas theme to it, I suppose. That's why you're gonna see these slot machines around. And there is a trophy that we can get by getting enough bolts from these slot machines. You can also get ammo from them too. You can see there's a nanotech reel, but that red icon, it will make the machine blow up if all 3 reels land on the same picture. Which, more often than not, the reels will match up, at least in my experience. I'm not sure if that's a PS3 thing or not, but it feels like the PS3 version, those reels line up a lot more than they did on the PS2. I wonder if they fixed that or not. It could be just me. Anyways, we got another use for a tractor beam here. There's that. And blow up those crates too. Those have the same explosive icon. These explosive crates are a returning feature from the first game. If you touch one, it'll blink for a few seconds before it blows up. However, if you use a weapon or your Omni Wrench on it, which is a weapon in itself too, but it's also a tool, functions both ways for Ratchet actually. If you use either a weapon or your Omni Wrench, then the red crate will blow up outright. So if you don't have time to see it just blink off to its demise, quote-unquote demise I should say, then you can just speed up the process by blowing it up yourself. It's a pretty good way to get bolts and to make these things blow up remotely. Also want damage for these breakables in the environment here, because breakables also get you bolts too. You might want to be a little greedy in this game because stuff's gonna get really expensive later on. Let's enjoy the cheapness of it now. It just shows the, I suppose, the early days of when this galaxy's economy was in a sensible place. So we'll use the slingshot mechanic again. This slingshot mechanic doesn't come up often in this game for the tractor beam. As a matter of fact, I think Maktar's the only one that uses this device at all in this game. So for something that shows you how useful the tractor beam can be, it's kind of a shock that it doesn't come back later on, or a device unique as this doesn't come back later on. It's kind of weird in that aspect of level design. Well, we can take that limo and be on our way to the jamming array. To seal the jamming array, we have to destroy the 6 transponders. Those are the big towers with these green lights. But before you do anything, turn around and jump on the limo. Get on the left engine here. Oh yeah, you can also use a map here. I'll show that momentarily. But hit X on this boost pad, and you'll moon jump into a platinum bolt. That's another one that I did not know about for the longest time. Not until I was looking up stuff when rounding out this game. That's another sneaky one. I try to be observant when it comes to these kinds of games, but that one showed me that for the longest time, I was not that observant about this particular level at all. As the message just said, we have the return of the bulk crank feature. However, turning a bulk crank operates a little differently than it does in the last game. You can blow up the transponder with either your wrench or with a secondary weapon, just so you know. Just hit the transponder's base, I guess, and it'll blow up. And you won't be affected by the explosion at all either. It's not lethal. Also, Ratchet uses his O2 mask again. He only uses this for when he's in space or underwater or outside. Anyways, back to the bulk crank. In the first game, all you have to do is attach your wrench to the crank by hitting circle, and then use the left analog stick to go in one direction, and Ratchet would automatically walk around turning the bulk crank on his own. Not in this case. you actually have to turn the left stick around in a rotation to rotate the crank yourself. So they kind of knew that they sort of screwed up with that mechanic in the first game and quote-unquote fixed it. I just think they didn't want us gamers to be lazy about using the ball crank after the first game. That was probably just an oversight that the devs didn't catch until too late, and they made a note to remedy that for the sequel. That's probably the more logical reason, but I like to think that they don't want us to be lazy. It's just the more funnier explanation to me. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, if you press selector R3, you can actually get a 3D view of the map around here. It could be useful for finding the rest of the transponders, but it's not really that useful in my opinion, because if you turn all the way back, you can just see the green lights off in the distance, and once you spot one, you can easily track down its location, so it's not too bad. A cool way to see the entire planet and to rotate it too. It's really, really strange that looking at this now in the modern day, seeing another game pull off this spherical level design, it's pretty unique, especially since this game came out, I believe, 2004? I want to say that's the right release year. This was like a few years before Super Mario Galaxy was even an idea in Nintendo's mind, I bet. So it's really funny to see that one of their competitors did use this idea first, like a few years before Mario Galaxy was even a thing. Ironically enough, Shigeru Miyamoto, when he was asked about Ratchet and Clank in an interview, he said he had no idea what Ratchet and Clank was. There's actually kind of a little history behind these spherical levels. Turns out they actually had this mind. I should stop saying the word actually a lot. I say that way too much. I gotta fix that. They had the spherical idea in mind for the first game, believe it or not, but it was deemed too ambitious at the time. The idea was, as soon as I could find this transponder, I said it was easy to pick out. Look at me, I'm just running around like a headless chicken now. I'm not using the map. No way. I've always found these things without the map. I can manage just fine. Knocking on wood right now. Just knocking on wood very, very clearly at the moment. There it is. I had a feeling in one of these directions. See, I told you. Not that hard to find these things. As I was saying, so we can find one of these. Oh, the other one's right there. They're right close to each other. Good lord. Is that another one? Are there really 3 left? I thought there were 4. Well, not 4, I thought there were 2. I'm putting a little sore on this, but I'm usually pacing myself at this level. What I'm trying to say, once I stop pointing out my faults here, is that the idea for the spherical level in the first game is you would get shot out of a big cannon on planet Iridia, the first, and I think only desert planet in that game actually. You get shot out of a cannon from that level onto a spherical hoverboard course, which I imagine would be hell to play. Why did I use a bomb on that thing? I never did that before. I'm not really paying attention that much, am I? Am I? But yeah, they decided to use a spherical hoverboard course as an idea for Ratchet 1, which baffles me because playing those playing those hoverboard races was so strict back in the first game. I imagine doing a spherical one would be both dizzying and also really stressful to play as. To add on to that, I would not want to play that at all. There's no way I would enjoy that. I already don't like the hoverboard races in the first game as they are right now. Throw this in. I said throw that. Thank you. One more to go. However, the cannon they had on Iridia, which I didn't even know existed, turns out I'm a lot less observant than I thought. Way less observant for a guy who wears glasses. Turns out the cannon they had on Iridia, it still does have a use. It's just a background detail now. But the funny thing about it is that instead of shooting any sort of missiles, it shoots robots T-posing to disguise them as missiles. It's one of the funniest cases of keeping an asset around that I've ever heard.
Good work, my boy! You are proving to be invaluable in this underwear. Anywho, it appears the thief is now under the protection of thugs for less. But I may have found a way for you to insinuate their operation.
Is it dangerous?
No. Actually, yes, it is.
Good.
Take a look at this.
The wind in your hair, the sun on your skin, the bugs in your teeth. We are the Desert Riders.
Before I became a desert rider, I didn't fit in anywheres. I had low self-esteem, bad breath, and a thing for ladies' undergarments. But these guys understand me. They really do.
Yeah, I'm just here for the bake sales. Oh yeah, I also make these cute gloves for all the guys.
So if you've got what it takes, use this temporary membership to enter the most grueling hoverbike race in the galaxy. Win it and become one of us. Desert Riders, the #1 leisure choice of thugs for less.
Desert Riders all use Megacorp bikes, so I just had to pull a few strings. Contract me as soon as you get more indignation. Fizzwidget, out.
By completing the jamming array, we already got our next coordinates, so we're getting through this thing pretty fast. More or less. But we still have business to attend to back at the resort. So we're not done yet. After all, we haven't looked at the main reason why we're here. The original reason to why we even got coordinates to this place, like, at all. And it's got to do by going on the other route. Before we do that, we're gonna end things off for today. But I want to show off the chopper. It can not only ricochet off of solid surfaces, but one can ambush an enemy several times before it flies away, like we just saw. This thing is pretty powerful considering it's an early game weapon, and it would have been even more broken if you could use it while in motion. However, if you hold circle, Ratchet will remain in place while throwing out those ninja stars. And in another case of reusing an asset, or keeping one around, the ninja stars we throw, they're actually the blades that the MSR chainsaw robot uses, which I never even thought of before, but that's also a really funny way of just using a tool for more than one use. But in any case, that's gonna be it for today. I know we spent a little too much time on the jamming array, but what lies ahead, I think, will be suitable enough to be its own video. So next time, we're gonna make our way through this route to get to the arena. Until we meet again, farewell for now.